Hey, what's up? This is Nick Walter, zappycode.com. You're probably itching to start making your app, but we've got to download the tools that we need in order to start making these Android apps. So this lecture is for people who have Mac computer. If you've got an Apple computer, this is the lecture for you. If you've got a Windows computer, move on to the next lecture. None of this is relevant for you. So open up a web browser. I'm going to be using Safari. You can use Chrome, Firefox, whatever you want. If you saw that cool little trick I just did, if you don't know about this, I think this is so cool. I share this with anybody who has a Mac. Hit Command and Spacebar at the same time, and this little spotlight search comes up. You can open apps from here. You can check on scores of like games and stuff. Like it's pretty cool. But I always launch my apps this way. You can always go the old route of clicking on Launchpad, or even go into Finder and then checking out like applications or stuff like that. But anyways, assuming you have a browser open, we are just going to Google JDK download. That's it, okay? And we're looking for a website from Oracle, and that's this one up here right at the top, so we're going to click on that. And we want this JDK over here on the right side. We don't want Java, NetBeans, none of that. We're looking for JDK. So we click that. And it has this little user agreement thing. We just hit this radio button. Now everything's happy. And then we want to download this Mac OS X. It's pretty nice that there's only one option for us. We don't have to stress about which one of these we want. So we just click on that and our download starts. So I am going to pause the video here and wait until that download has finished. And once that has finished for you as well, just restart the video and we'll move on from there. Okay, so that has finished downloading for me. Wherever your download is, just go ahead and double click on it to install it. It'll run through this little thing to set up the installation process. Then we have to double click on this cardboard box that looks like it's got a cube of butter coming out of it. I don't know. But anyways, just hit continue, install through here. We just want to go through all of this. You'll probably have to put in your username and password for your computer, and if you're not the administrator on this computer, you'll need that info. So hopefully you should be able to get that info and move on to the next step. And then this will install the JDK, which again lets us run this Java code. And it looks like that's all done. So we've already completed the first step here. We have the JDK. Woo! Congratulations for us. Now we just need that Android Studio piece so that we can actually write the Java code and make apps and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and click out of this, and now we are going to just Google Android Studio, okay? And we want one from developer.android.com, so we'll click on this one. And man, I can't tell you, the new Android Studio is awesome. Before, you had to like have this Android thing plugged into other IDEs, and it was just messy. It was very, very buggy. I'm not saying Android Studio is perfect by any means, but it's so much cleaner than it used to be. So let's click Get Android Studio, and there should be a big, nice button that says Download Android Studio for Mac. We pretend like we read all of this stuff. We scroll down to the bottom, click We Agree, and we download Android Studio. So again, I will pause this video while it is downloading. I'll come back once it's finished and start again when your download is finished. Okay, so that has finished downloading. Again, wherever your download is, just double click on that Android Studio file. And again, it's going to do some prep to get things moving here. And then when you should get a screen like this, and if you've ever downloaded an app for Mac, you know you just have to click this thing and drag it into the application folder. So it's saying, hey, in order to do this for me, I'm not the administrator on this account, I've got to authenticate. For you, it's probably just as simple as putting your password in on your computer. But it's going to be moving that into the applications folder. This will take some time because this is a big chunky thing, like 750 megabytes. That's big. And at the time of watching this, maybe there's a different version of Android Studio. Don't get freaked out if it's not the exact same size that I have. But with that, you now have Android Studio installed on your computer. So let's make sure that Android Studio is working and that we can be ready to start making apps. So if we do that command spacebar and start typing Android Studio, you can see it's right here, which is excellent. So I'm just going to hit enter it on that. If for some reason it's not showing up in your spotlight, you can use the Launchpad here. You can just go to Finder and then go to your applications and install it there. You really got a lot of options to get to it. It's going to ask you, are you sure you want to open this? Is it something you got from the internet? Yes, we trust Google and the peeps running Android, we think this is good stuff. So once this opens, it's going to say, hey, you know, if you've had Android Studio installed before, do you want to use the previous stuff from that? And you're saying, no, this is my first time making Android apps. I just want to roll with what I've got here. So here you can see it is launching. This is exciting stuff. Checking the SDK repository. All exciting things that apparently we don't have to worry about. Okay, so we get this cool welcome screen showing us all the cool stuff we can make. We're saying that's cool. Yeah, you can do standard or a custom installation. Honestly, I think it's just best to go with the standard. If you want to go custom, you can choose some cool things like do you want default or Dracula. Like you can do some pretty cool options, but to be honest, let's just roll with the standard. We don't need any of the fancy bells and whistles for right now. So it's going to ask you, you know, what things do you want to install here? I think you want to get this Android virtual device. We're going to be needed for the course. This Android virtual device just means when you make an app, you can test it on your computer. If you only want to use your actual Android phone, you technically don't have to download this, and you can see it's a big one at 1 gigabyte, so you'll probably want that. And there's some other ones here like this Intel one. If you don't have an Intel chip in your computer, this won't be an option here, but so don't freak out if you don't have it. It's not like you need it in order to make apps. But anyways, I suggest you get this Android virtual device or this class is going to be tough for you. So let's go ahead and say yes to that. We'll hit next, finish, and then now it's going to go through and, you know, download all of that stuff here. So luckily for me, I have a really great internet connection. I don't know if you saw that, but it was going, I think at one point it got up to like 10 megabytes a second, which was great. But I'm just going to put a stop here and wait until this has been installed. You'll probably have to wait on your end too. You might get a couple of times during the installation where it'll ask for your password again. Just be sure to, you know, put that in. Don't go off for half an hour, come back, and it's just been waiting on you to put in your password. So we'll stop here. We'll come back once this has finished installing. So if you get a screen like this that says welcome to Android Studio, you got it installed. You are ready to start making apps. So that's it for you because you're a Mac user. In the next lecture, I'm going to cover what it takes to install both the JDK Android Studio on Windows